إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله عز وجل وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. ثم أما بعد. As we all know, the month of Ramadan is upon us, and during this blessed time we should be trying to worship Allah the most we ever had before. And a very easy way of doing this is to recite the Qur'an. So inshallah today I will explain the history of the Qur'an as well as the proofs of the Qur'an and other things like that. So for starters, the Qur'an is the words of Allah revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam through Angel Jibreel. And the Qur'an is wahi, which means divine revelation that has come from Allah to Angel Jibreel and has come to us from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. These words are also regarded as the exact words of Allah, unlike the Suhuf of Ibrahim and Musa, which their books have been since changed. Speaking of these books, Allah has sent 4 holy books before the Qur'an: a Suhuf to Ibrahim alayhi salam, the Torah to Musa alayhi salam, the Zabur to Dawood alayhi salam, and the Injil to Isa alayhi salam, peace be upon them all. My dear brothers and sisters, we should all know the true greatness of the Qur'an. To us Muslims, it's the most holy book in the world. It's also the very final message from Allah to mankind. And Allah has told us that this book is the last and it will not be changed no matter what. Nowadays you might see the Qur'an apps that have absolutely wrong translation, but these will never change the Qur'an. Because 1, Allah always keeps His promise, and 2, we have people that have memorized the Qur'an. One of the many purposes of memorizing the Qur'an is to keep it. This is why people who have memorized the Qur'an are called the keepers of the Qur'an. We can learn the greatness of the Qur'an from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ali narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once said, "It is the Qur'an, the book of Allah. It has the tales of people who came before you, and it tells you what will happen after your time. And it helps making judgment on things that occur among you. It is the truth, not falsehood. Whoever rejects it will be destroyed, and whoever seeks guidance from it, who outside of it, will go astray. It is the strong book of Allah, it is the book of wisdom, and it is the straight path. Thoughts will not go astray with it, tongues will not err if they use it, and scholars will not get enough of it. You will not get bored even if you read it again and again, and it will always surprise and inspire you." The jinn said when they heard it, "We have heard an outstanding Qur'an. Whoever says its verses will say the truth, whoever uses it in making judgments will be fair, and whoever called others to it will be guided to the straight path." This narration was reported in Ad-Durimi. The Qur'an tells us 7 important things. These are the reality and attributes of Allah, the spiritual world, Allah's purpose for creating mankind, Allah's rules for a happy life, man's responsibility toward Allah and the world, and the coming of Judgment Day, and the hereafter. We also need to talk about the history of the Qur'an. We all know the story of the cave of Hira, so we can talk about how the Prophet ﷺ taught the Qur'an to his people. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, Rasulullah used to teach us 10 ayah or so every time. Then we would memorize them, learn them, and apply them in our daily lives. Then Rasulullah would teach us another passage of the Qur'an. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that the Qur'an is not only for memorization, but it's also to apply in our daily lives. The Qur'an is divided into three parts: the oneness of God, the manners of us for us humans, and the stories of the people before us. So the Prophet ﷺ used to ask some Sahaba to write the revealed ayahs on scrolls or wood or skin or animal bones. So back then in Arabia they didn't have paper, so they had to write the Qur'an on these things. So the people that the Prophet ﷺ would call to write the revealed ayahs are called Qutubul Wahi, or the scribes of revelation. 23 years after revelation, the Prophet ﷺ passed away. Abu Bakr became the first Khalifa, and he ordered Zayd ibn Thabit to collect all of the written Qur'an in one big collection. They kept it in a safe place at the house of Bint Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. During the time of Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, the third Khalifa, Zayd ibn Thabit and other Sahaba wrote 7 similar copies of the Qur'an, and they sent it to major Muslim cities at the time. From how the Qur'an was adapted, we know that what we are reading now is the same exact Qur'an that Allah revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it will definitely stay that way because Allah has said in Surah Al-Hijr, "Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun." Indeed, it is we who sent down the Qur'an, and indeed we will be its guardian. After this, centuries passed after the Qur'an was documented in Arabic. Thus, people around the world wanted to know what it means. So the people translated the Qur'an, and now we have it in over 40 different languages. So like I mentioned before, the Qur'an is the most important book for us. Since the book is so important, we also need to respect it. So I will tell you inshallah how to do that exactly. First of all, we need to be clean. We recommend that you have wudu when touching it. Literally the book itself, you need to have wudu to touch the book itself. But some scholars have differed if you should have wudu when you recite it. So Imam Shafi'i said you don't, but Hanafi said you do. But you can choose which one you would like to follow. So when you would meet an important person, when you try to be clean and have like the most neat clothes on, it's the same thing when you read the Qur'an and when you pray. Second, it is recommended for us to face the Qibla. For us, facing the Kaaba is the best position when you make dua or you pray, or of course read Qur'an. And third, you have to have khushu'. Khushu' is having your heart humbled and connected with Allah while worshiping Him. Recitation of the Qur'an is, as we know, one of the best and easiest ways of worship and requires much khushu'. Qur'an recitation is not good when you are not affected by it though. And definitely there's a difference between reading the Qur'an and reciting Qur'an. When you just read it, you don't really feel anything. But when you recite it though, it makes you feel a lot different. Fourth of all, you need to have a little thing called tadabbur. Tadabbur means reflection and a deep, true understanding of Qur'an. This means you focus on its meanings, its rulings, and its guidance. Also, you should look at the words, even if you don't speak Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, but I try to look at the words. But of course, you can look at the translations and meanings that are in English. We can and we should learn Arabic, but if we can't, we should try to be fluent in the language. We should reflect on the lessons of the Qur'an as well. For example, you can learn the lessons of the stories of Prophet Yusuf ﷺ and reflect on those and use those in your daily life. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a very beautiful surah that talks about the Qur'an. This is Surah Al-Muzammil. So, Surah Al-Muzammil is one of the earliest surahs revealed. Then, in Arabia, the Prophet ﷺ and his companions only had Surah Al-Alaq, Surah Noon, Surah Mudaththir possibly, and of course Surah Al-Fatiha. So the surah starts with Allah instructing Rasulullah ﷺ to get up from sleep at night and prepare himself for the work that he had in the day by praying at night. And this way his heart will be strengthened for what was coming in the day. As Allah's command goes, He says, يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُزَّمِّلُ قُمِ اللَّيْلَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا نِصْفَهُ أَوْ انقُصْ مِنْهُ قَلِيلًا أَوْ زِدْ عَلَيْهِ وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا. O you folded in garments, stand to prayer by night, but not all night, half of it or a little less, or a little more. and recite the Qur'an in slow, measured, rhythmic tones. Soon shall we send to you a weighty message. So the most important ayah is number 4. أوزد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا. And ayah number 5. إنا سنلقي عليك قولا ثقيلا. So during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, people used to like poetry. And they used to like hearing rhythmic tones and things like that. So Allah told Muhammad ﷺ to recite Al-Qur'an in these slow rhythmic tones so then the people would be attracted by it. Now ayah number 5 is very, very interesting. There can be 3 meanings for this phrase, like a weighty message. 1, receiving Al-Qur'an was literally physically heavy. The Prophet ﷺ used to feel pressure when he received Al-Qur'an. Like he would be sweating, he would experience weight on his mind and his body. So he was so heavy that if the Prophet ﷺ were to sit on a camel, the camel would be forced to sit down. 2, receiving Al-Qur'an was a big responsibility. The Al-Qur'an is literally a guide for humanity. So it's a really big responsibility to reveal this and to give it to the people, and they will give it to the people, and soon they will remember it. And 3, it is very, very weighty against the kuffar and the hypocrites. So skip to ayah 19. إِنَّ هَذِهِ تَذْكِرَةٌ فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَى رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. Verily this is an admonition, meaning like a reminder. Therefore whoso will, let him take a straight path to his Lord. So the Qur'an is a reminder for us. It reminds us to have strong faith, to perform salah, and it reminds us of our good manners all the time. And if we act upon Al-Qur'an, we will become better people. We will have better personalities, and inshallah we will enter His paradise. And of course, if we stop reading Al-Qur'an, we will begin to be deprived of its benefits. And now we have ayah 20, the longest ayah in that juz. Since it's very long, I won't recite it, but there's a point of the ayah that says that salah and zakat are the best deeds. But after salah and zakat are Al-Qur'an. And if you think about it, Al-Qur'an is a very easy way to get hasanat. And we can learn that from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud reported that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever recites a letter from the book of Allah, then he will receive 1 good deed as 10 good deeds like it. I do not say that Alif, Lam, Mim is 1 letter. Rather, Alif is a letter, Lam is a letter, and Mim is a letter. This is because that Allah doesn't mean to be harsh, so He makes it easy to get hasanah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. My dear brothers and sisters, some scholars have said that the Qur'an is the greatest miracle. But why is that? This is because that the Qur'an has many proofs. It proves that Islam is the one true religion. There are 7 proofs, such as like the deep seas and the eternal waves, and a lot more. But those are a little bit more complicated. So we'll just cover what the Qur'an says on the origin of the universe. From today's science, we know that once the universe was a cloud of smoke. This is a form of standard modern cosmology. Nowadays, scientists can observe new stars forming from the remains of that smoke. The stars we see at night were in that smoke material. And Allah said in Al-Qur'an, He comprehended in His design the sky, and it had been a smoke. Since the earth and the heavens above, and the sun and the moon and the stars, etc., have been formed from the same smoke, we can conclude that the earth and the heavens and all these other things were once the same thing, once the same entity. Allah also said in the Qur'an, do not the unbelievers see that the heavens and the earth were joined together as one unit of creation before we clove them asunder? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions wouldn't have known that unless it was from Allah Almighty. So this proves that Islam is the true religion. May Allah make us to be amongst those that understand the Qur'an well and know its meanings and have khushu' when reciting the Qur'an. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك يا مولانا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. وأصلح اللهم أحوالنا في الأمور كلها وبلغنا بما يرضيك آمالنا واختم اللهم بالصالحات أعمالنا وبالسعادة آجالنا وتوفنا يا رب وأنت راض عنا. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقيموا الصلاة.